you gorgeous individuals, it's Kav here, and today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've wanted to discuss on my channel for a long time but have been trying to figure out the right words to say so that they came out the way I wanted them to. And basically, I'm going to sum this up by saying how to be an ally. First of all, I should acknowledge the fact that yes, my background is really bare. I am filming on my bed and I'm currently in the process of redecorating my room, which is why my walls have absolutely nothing on them because we took it all down so that I can redecorate. So first of all, I'm going to say that all of the stuff I talk about in this video, I have messed up on it. I'm not saying that I'm the epitome of the perfect ally or the perfect diverse booktuber. I've messed up on all of this stuff, but this is just what I've learned from my time in the community and what I now think is good allyship. I don't speak for everyone. All diverse people are not a monolith, so I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm speaking for myself and for my experiences in the community. And this is what my experiences this past year and a half have taught me. There are three main points I want to cover, and the first point is boosting and supporting marginalized people. I feel like this is the easiest of the three, which is why I'm just getting it out of the way in the beginning, because it's so easy to boost and support people. We are lucky in this book community to have such a wide range of people to support. We get to form personal connections with readers, with booktubers, with book bloggers, with authors, agents, publishers, with so many different people involved in the process of making and supporting and reviewing books. And I just think that that is so cool that we have that ability. And I think that's something that's really important with our privilege to have that ability, is to make sure that we're supporting and boosting the people who don't necessarily get the same platform as privileged people. I think that to do this, one of the first things we have to do is start to dismantle the us versus them culture, because I've seen that is very prevalent in our community, and I think it does have some issues. As long as we continue treating marginalized people and privileged people as two completely different things, we're not going to get anywhere, because you can be, I guess, 100% privileged, but most people are in the middle of that. Most people are like a white woman, so you have white privilege but you don't have gender privilege, or you might be like a straight person of color, so you have straight privilege but not skin color privilege or whatever. So most people aren't on one end of the spectrum, so I think that as long as we have this us versus them culture, we're not gonna get anywhere, because there is no us and them, because everyone is somewhere different on the spectrum. And of course, again, you can be on either side of the spectrum, but in general, people are somewhere in the middle. And to boost and support diverse people or marginalized people, I think the important thing is to look at your following and look at who you're supporting. If you're supporting everyone of just one skin color or just one gender or something, first of all, you're not even getting that many opinions and you're not getting that many people to discuss with, which makes your experience not as fun and not as interesting, because having different people to talk to and having different individuals, not just like different diversities, but different individuals actually to talk to, is so cool. And I think that that has really improved my experience in the book community since I started boosting marginalized people. It's really easy. You can retweet their channel, retweet their blog. It's really not a very difficult thing to do. You just have to look at your following, and there are so many different people you can support. And of course, you shouldn't just support them if they're diverse, you know. You have to make sure you like their content. But if the only people you're supporting are privileged people, then I'm questioning why you only enjoy the content of privileged people, because that brings into question whether you really truly want to be an ally and whether you really truly want to help marginalized people if you don't even want to support them. And so I think by dismantling this us versus them culture and including more marginalized people in our like subscribe to or whatever else, I think that that will really help improve your time in the community and bring you some more interesting and important discussions to be a part of. And I think once you start doing that, then you can work towards dismantling this culture, because now I just see my following as my following, because I follow people of all skin colors and all sexualities and romantic orientations and such, and all of those different aspects. It's important to hear stories that are unlike yourselves, but then also have people who are like you. And so if you're supporting all different types of people, you get both of those. The second thing I want to discuss is speaking with marginalized people and not speaking for them, which I think is slightly more difficult than the first. Here's the thing. It's important that allies are there in times of difficulty for marginalized people, but it's also important that on issues that affect a certain group of people, they get the primary platform. Speaking with them and not for them is the important thing, and yes, boosting them can contribute to that, but you also need to be able to say something. You know, you can do whatever it does that makes you feel like you're contributing something as an ally, whether that's like a makeup look or some other form of artistic expression, like a song or something like that. But that's just talking the talk. So unless you walk the walk, you're not really a true ally. To walk the walk, you have to be speaking with marginalized people, which means that in certain scenarios where a marginalized person is visibly uncomfortable with a conversation that they're having, you can step in and you can tell that other person to back away, or in that situation you can like reiterate what the marginalized person was saying and then tell that person to back away because this is visibly making them uncomfortable. Or in situations where you can offer some sort of support to marginalized people, like by Visibility Day or Suicide Prevention Month or Mental Illness Awareness Week or Latinx and Hispanic Heritage Month, things like that. During those times you can make sure that you are offering them a platform and that you are speaking with them, that you're letting them share their stories and that you're listening and that you are responding and that you're actually being involved in that conversation. Because they don't know that you're listening unless you make a response, unless you interact with them. They don't know that anyone's actually listening to their story and that they're being heard. So the thing about speaking with them is that you can't step out of your lane. You can't say what is right and what is wrong unless you are currently experiencing that yourself. So you have to listen to what they say and promote that and reiterate that and be there for them. Not all diverse people are a monolith, so just what one person says may not apply to everyone, but you can look at what everyone says and kind of try to apply yourself to what you find is like. Of course, my video on allyship might be different than someone else's, and maybe if this is what you agree with, this is what you can implement, or maybe if someone else's is what you agree with, that is what you can implement. So you have to figure out how to balance that, and I can't sit here and tell you the best way to do that, but I think that what's most important is that you are showing them that you're listening, because I know that that's what makes me feel most heard personally. When I get a response to a tweet I post about my skin color or something like that, when I get those responses, I feel like I'm actually being listened to and what I'm saying is being heard. Or scenarios where I can't speak up for myself, so someone else is there to help me speak up, but they don't put words in my mouth. Things like that, I know from personal experience, make me feel better, but it really depends. You have to figure out what you find is the best balance for that, and sure, trial and error may play a part in that, which will bring me to my third point. But the point is that you need to find the best way to do that, because you can't be an ally if you're not walking the walk. The third point is to apologize when you mess up, because you are going to mess up. That is inevitable. No one is perfect. I am not perfect. I've messed up on this stuff before, and I'm sure everyone who's watching this video has messed up at least once, if not more. So no one is perfect. But if you're a writer or if you are reviewing a certain book, do as much research as you can. Put in the time, put in the effort, and if you do so and then you mess up, you have to take ownership of that and apologize. And if people can't forgive your apology, you know, no one is obligated to forgive you, of course, but if they can't forgive your apology, then it's not completely on you. Of course, you can't just apologize. You have to go forth and put in the effort to improve whatever it was that you may have messed up on, and you have to make sure not to do that again. But if after that they still can't forgive you, you know, that's their choice. They are completely and 100% allowed to make that choice. It's valid, but you can't let that sit there and take you down and make you feel like you're not a true ally. I have found that at times the community sets unrealistic expectations of perfection out of allies, especially if those allies are marginalized in some way, and I think that that is not the best mindset to have. I would actually go as far as calling it a toxic mindset, but I don't want my words to be twisted here. I just think that it doesn't work because, one, it gives unrealistic expectations to teen readers because we're in a YA community. So by setting those unrealistic expectations on teen readers, you're ruining their experience in the community. I know that has happened to me. Of course, my decisions were my own. No one else made them for me, but it was influenced by what I had seen in the community. And what I had seen is that perfection is what was expected. So that was what I held myself up to and what I held other people up to. No one is perfect. No one is going to be perfect. You can't have that expectation out of people, because if you continuously expect people to be perfect, you're gonna ruin everyone's experiences, because then you're never going to be satisfied with anything. Plus, you're also going to ruin other people, because then they're not going to want to help you if they don't feel like they're allowed to make mistakes. And I'm not saying that you should let those mistakes go and be like, oh, whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you should let it go. You should call them out on it, but you should also be willing to let them learn. And if they don't learn, if they are not receptive, that's not on you again, and then they're obviously not a good ally. So you're better off, you know, without them being a fake ally. But if they are receptive and they're taking the time to learn, then holding it out against them and not letting them have a second chance just seems like the opposite of what we're trying to do in this community, because what we're trying to do is make a safe and inclusive environment for everyone, and that includes everyone, not just certain people, not just the people who've never messed up yet or something like that. And I also want to acknowledge something else as I'm speaking about this. It's impossible to not like something problematic, because practically every piece of media is problematic, and that is an issue that I don't want to get into right now. But the point is, if we continuously bring people down for liking problematic things, then we're not going to get anywhere. Of course, there are certain levels of problematicness that you can't support, like for example, the Black Witch. That's a no. You don't support something like that. But something that's not perfect and has certain problems, you can't tell people not to support that. If they can acknowledge the problems, and if they are willing to be vocal about them and make sure that those are some of the first things heard when they bring it up, then you have to let them enjoy what they enjoy, because you can't just continuously take away people's forms of enjoyment, because then again the experience in the community won't be enjoyable for anyone, and I don't think that that's the community we want to create for other people, and at least I hope that's not. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with my views, and that's okay, to each their own, but I firmly stand with these three main points, and I think that these are the most important points that come with being an ally, because I've just learned that from my time in the community, and I've learned that this is what seems to be the most useful way of going about it, because as long as we're having discussions at each other and we're talking about each other, we're not going to get anywhere. We have to start talking to each other, because if we're not talking to each other, then where is progress going to come from? How are we going to get anywhere further if we can't tell people when they're messing up? And again, if they're not receptive, that's not on you, that's on them, and you don't owe them anything after that. But if they're receptive and they try to improve, then you can't ask them to do much more than that, and I think it's unrealistic to expect that from them. Expecting perfection and not talking to anyone about your expectations in the first place is not going to get us anywhere. We need to discuss with each other, and that's what I hope that this community can start to do more of going forward, because I find that that has gotten lost in quite a few conversations that I've seen happen from my time in the community. And this video is not meant for one specific thing. It's been a video I've been planning to make for a while, and now I'm finally sitting down and making it, and I hope that you might take this to heart and see that my points have some validity to them, even if you don't completely agree, which I respect. I know this video was kind of serious, but I still hope you enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the things I said, so comment them down below, and then we can chat and we can have a discussion with each other, which is exactly the point of this video. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe, because I'm making new videos every Sunday, and usually they are pretty happy and about books, but sometimes we have to talk about the serious issues too. And as usual, all of my social media and my Goodreads will be in the description below if you're interested in following me anywhere else. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you are having a lovely day or night wherever you are. Please remember you're beautiful and you deserve the world, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Goodbye!